mess. I'm a mess, so it's gonna be a mess. He hurt himself. Is he second guessing if he wants to escape? I don't know. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Before we dive into today's video, I have not had breakfast yet. Because we have not had breakfast yet, I'm gonna make myself a smoothie, so I'm bringing you guys along with me. We are back. Ooh, look at the muscles. Speaking of, I need to go to the, I need to start continuing. I need to start continuing doing exercise. That makes a lot of sense, because I do. I need to start continuing doing exercise. If you understand, I'm glad. Today, I am basically just going to be showing you guys just the books that Bookstagram made me buy. Now, I used to pride myself, okay, little backstory. Back when I had my other Instagram account, from like 2014 to 2018, roughly around there, I used to buy any and every book. I would be the one that would buy an 8-book series without having read any of the books at all. I would just like buy them all without a problem. I'm not too proud of this. I once spent, from my scholarship from college, I think it was around $1,000 I was able to receive like as a leftover. And my mom was like, yeah, do whatever you want with it. I was like, so I ordered books, $1,000 worth of books. 2023 Genesis and even 2022 Genesis. Okay, actually, probably from 2019 to 2023 Genesis. I have tried to be more cautious and be a tiny bit wiser with how I spend my money, especially when it comes to books. So I am now trying to buy books that I will either know that I will love, or just books that I have read and I love, which you will see some in my book haul from June. But these were the ones that I just kept seeing around everywhere, and I just had to get them. And I think 2 of them I actually got from the Target buy 2 get 1 free, something like that sale. So I was able to do that. And the others I just saw on Instagram so much. I had to get them, and I immediately started 2 of them. So I'm gonna show you guys. So the very first one, it doesn't even need a mention. That book is Fourth Wing. I did a reaction video for this. It does have spoilers. But yeah, Fourth Wing, obviously, who hasn't heard? Who hasn't heard about Fourth Wing at this point? If you didn't know, Fourth Wing just basically features dragons, enemies to lovers, action, challenges, dragons communicate with the riders. It's just amazing, amazing. Powers, magic, just, you get it. I started seeing a lot of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Character arts about the characters. I also saw a lot of aesthetic boards, and there were so many that I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to read this, and I need to read it before I get spoiled. I'm not gonna say more because my review has kind of like what I would say about this. Barely a review, it's just me, my thoughts right after I finished it, so it's a little bit like, it's not even, it's a mess. It's a mess. I'm a mess, so it's gonna be a mess. I have seen this book everywhere, literally everywhere. It even made it into Russ's song Nasty, towards the end, where he's like, we said we only friends, but we just faking with benefits. You my sweetest oblivion. You're my icebreaker, something like that. That icebreaker is referring to this book. If you guys haven't heard Russ's song, go look for it. Interestingly enough, I actually don't know anything about this book. I just kept seeing it online, which this is so unlike me. It's so unlike me to buy a book that I know absolutely nothing about. But again, seeing it on Bookstagram a lot. And also finding out that this book is extremely spicy despite the cover. I mean, that's all I need to know, right? We pay for our smut. That's what we do. Anyway, so in book form, of course. Again, I don't know much about this book except what's obviously in the back, which she's a figure skater. I love figure skating. So yeah, so reading a book about figure skating, like, it's everything for me. I love figure skating anyway. So she's a figure Anastasia, she's a figure skater and she wants to make it into Team USA. She's able to get a scholarship to the University of California. She gets there, everything is going great until, of course, she has to share the ice skating rink with the hockey team, and she cannot stand Nate. I don't know why. I guess I have to read it to find out why, but apparently also Anastasia's skating partner, I guess something happens with him and she cannot skate with him anymore or something. It says here that her partner faces an uncertain future. Do with that what you will. I have no idea what that is or what that even means. Like, did he hurt himself? Is he second guessing if he wants to escape? I don't know. Point is, Anastasia has to look to Nate to take her shot. That's what this says. I don't know. But I guess whenever I read it, I shall find out. So the next book that I'm going to show you guys is by an author that I have seen on Bookstagram, but I feel like I've seen it more because of certain accounts that I follow. This author, I don't know, I love her covers. Her stories sound just so cute and lovely, and for some reason I just never really got motivated to read her books. I don't know why. And then this book came out and it was like everywhere, literally. So I was like, I guess we're gonna get it. So Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I mean, look at this cover. Okay, I'll be honest, this was mostly a cover buy because I do not have any idea what this book is about. I mean, just, it's so pretty. I love it, honestly. I love the pink. Lately I'm getting into, I guess I'm going into my pink era or something because I'm loving pink a lot lately, which is interesting for me because I was never a pink girl. I was like a black girl for sure, a purple girl, neutral beige girl, never pink. So this for me is like, it's interesting, but I'm embracing it. So this features Annie Walker. She is wanting to find her dream man, but where she lives, it's like a small town. There aren't many prospects. Everybody knows everybody and there's not many people around. And enter Will. Is it Will? Yes, enter Will. He's tattooed. Look at that tattoos. Stupid Target sticker in the middle. Tattooed sexy bodyguard is in her hometown because Annie's brother's getting married, and the bodyguard is the bodyguard. The bodyguard is the bodyguard to Annie's sister-in-law, future sister-in-law. However, you guys get it. So yeah, so she needs help, and he's like, I guess he's like, yeah, I'll help you out. Try to, you know, some practice dates and all that stuff, because in one of the dates that she had, her date called her boring. So she thought maybe the problem is me. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. Anyway, yeah, but obviously, as we know, practice dates, tutoring, lessons, as we know, we know where that goes. And I love that. I love that in books so much when they're like, sure, I'll help you out. The first book that comes to mind is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. If you guys haven't read it, read it. So good, and it has that vibe where she needs help with dating, and you know, they're like, sure, I'll help you out, and then they're like, I'm preparing her for someone who's not me. And I don't know, I just love that. I love that so much. So this is another, I actually would like to try to read this in July, but I don't know if I will. We'll see. Finally, the last two books, technically 4 books. I already bought the other 2 off Amazon because the author is pulling all of the books in the series because they're going to be re-released through the publisher. The books are basically Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings. I remember this book cover, I think it was last year on Bookstagram. I remember looking at it and I thought it was kind of like a, I don't know, like a small town mystery-ish thing. I was so wrong. I was so wrong, you guys. It's not even funny. What people say, it's Gossip Girl goes British in a way. I never watched Gossip Girl, so I wouldn't necessarily know. This book is addicting. It does drive you absolutely insane. You do have the two main characters, Magnolia and BJ. They've known each other since they were babies, basically. And when they were in their teens, they became boyfriend and girlfriend, and they dated for around 3 years. Unfortunately, BJ did something unforgivable to Magnolia. Because of that, they have kind of created this sort of friendship that blurs the lines a lot. Like, for example, he stays over in her house, in her bed, every single night, but they don't do anything, and she continues dating other people, and he continues sleeping with other people. And it's kind of like, and they know that this hurts each other, but their pride just doesn't let them, and it's just so toxic. It's so unbelievably toxic, but you literally cannot stop reading. One thing a friend of mine said was, just Jessa's writing is something else, especially with the way her writing is kind of a little bit of run-on sentences, and I thought I was not going to like that. I remember when my friend told me I'd already purchased this book, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like it. I feel like I'm going to get lost. Not at all. It just makes it even more like you really get into the character's head. Like, you're really in it, and I love that. Another thing that the author does, she kind of like goes, kind of has flashbacks, but there's no distinction of when the flashback starts and when it ends. It just kind of like in between, just kind of like mixes in there, so you do have to pay very close attention to know what's in the past and what's current. Other than that, I am obsessed, and that's one thing that you guys definitely need to know, because I remember, I think her name is Kinsley, or she started this book last year. She didn't really know what to expect of it, so she stopped reading it because she wasn't into it, and then she started again, and she was like, it's good to know that what you're getting into is a toxic relationship, you know, a toxic friendship / toxic relationship. So I put that in my brain as soon as I started reading, and it has definitely helped me to kind of maintain or stay there, like, okay, remember, this is just how they are. I know I am doing a very grave mistake diving into this series when there's a cliffhanger at the end, but it's so good, and I do not want to be spoiled at all, so I'm like, you know what, let's just do it, you know, whatever. I have a bunch of people on Instagram that have read this book that if, in case I forget, they're going to remind me. So so basically you do have two separate character arcs, protagonists kind of thing. So you have Magnolia Parks, and then you have Daisy. So you would read these books kind of like the Addicted series / Calloway Sister series, where you don't read Addicted series and then you read Calloway. No, you kind of have to mix Addicted, Ricochet, Addicted for Now, Kiss the Sky, and you know, kind of like you need to mix them. That's how you would do with these. You would read Magnolia Parks first, and then you would read Daisy Hates, and then back to Magnolia Parks, Long Way Home, is it? And then back to Daisy Hates, and I don't remember, The Great Escape, The Great something, I can't remember. That's kind of, you would need to kind of read them that way. All of these characters, Daisy appears in Magnolia Park, so all of these characters appear in each other's world, so it's not like you're completely going separate, it's just like another storyline in a way. That's what I think it is. But I am extremely intrigued. I love the spines too. Look at the spines. These are basically the 4 books. Are there 4 books in here? These are the 5 books that bookstagram. These are the 4. These are the 5 books that bookstagram made me buy. Oh gosh, I finally got it right. Hopefully it all goes well. I mean, it already started good with Fourth Wing. Obviously loving Magnolia, and immediately going to be diving into Daisy Hates. Hopefully we'll read these later on this year. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below, which book or books did bookstagram made you buy recently. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week for another video. Bye!